5 things that I wish that I had stopped doing sooner. A lot of you young guys out there, you can probably learn from my mistakes. And one thing that I did do when I was younger was I would learn from other people's mistakes. That's one thing that I did do. Marriage is one of them. There's quite a few other problems that I identified with other men that were going through these problems, and I realized, oh, they were making mistakes. And I learned from their mistakes. But a lot of men these days, they don't learn from other people's mistakes. You need to go out there and experience it for yourself and make a mess of everything before you learn for yourself. But that's often when it's too late. But I'm going to talk about 5 things that I wish that I had stopped doing a lot sooner that would have definitely improved my life. Before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no bullshit, novel dating advice for the modern man. And if you want some one-on-one coaching with me, there's a form in the description. You can fill that out, and we can get on with some one-on-one coaching. Number 1 is a very, very good one. Removing toxic people from your life. This is definitely something that a lot of people do. Like you'll have a family member or a friend, and they're just toxic. They do things that are negatively affecting not only you but your life, but you keep them around. You think that they're going to change, or there's something about them that you feel like you need them around. But if someone externally was to watch the situation, they'll just tell you, look, you don't need that person in your life. And sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you realize you feel like you need this person. Some of those people might even be close friends, partners, and one of the worst ones is family. And I gotta plug this. If you read my book, I had to remove a lot of family from my life. That's a brutal book, by the way. That's not a happy story at all. But removing toxic people and some family members, myself, it just made life so much better. Just removing these awful people from your life and identifying them early. Just so, and they don't even need to be entirely toxic and attacking you and abusing you. They could just be not being there for you. They might not call you up and want to hang out with you. They might not seem like a caring sort of family member or friend. And if they're not really into you and they're not really looking out for you and they're not really that helpful, remove them. They have no business being in your life. You don't need to really hang out with them at all. You could probably just remove them a little bit. Just keep them at arm's length, see them very rarely, not as much, just less frequently, till eventually the relationship peters out and disappears. And you can do that with pretty much anyone. I had to do that with some family members of mine, and if you read the book, obviously. 2, being a victim. Now, being a victim isn't just, okay, well, something bad happened to me. It's also, I need to get justice, and wasting that time getting justice. This is something that I made a lot of mistakes earlier on. Instead of just realizing that something awful had happened to me and then going about my business to try and improve my life immediately, going out and trying to get justice can be very time consuming, it can take a lot of time, it can be awful in many different ways. But being the victim of something bad happening to you can obviously negatively affect your life, but the time spent afterwards trying to get some form of a justice can also cause you a lot of trouble, because what it's doing is it's the possibility of you using that time to improve your life. The opportunity cost of that time spent trying to get justice sometimes is just not worth it. And being a victim also can give you that victim mentality, which is something that I learned in my 20s. I actually stepped back and I realized I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm going to fight back fast and sharp, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, and then I'm going to get on with my life and try to improve from here on. And that was a very powerful point in my life where I was just like, okay, even the worst possible thing could happen to me. I'm going to do what I can quickly, and if I can't get justice, I need to improve my life and do what I can, because the opportunity cost of wasting your time being a victim is going to damage your future more than just dwelling on it so much. So being a victim is awful. 3, pretending that I was someone that I wasn't. Yeah, just pretending that you're someone that you're not. One thing that I would do, and this is a dating thing, is I would meet girls and tell them that I was working at Deutsche Bank. Because of my upbringing and where I came from, there was no possible way that I could have got some sort of a high-powered finance job. It was just impossible from where I came from, and then obviously all these other problems that happen. So when I would meet girls, sometimes I would tell them, and I'm not an unintelligent guy. I was very well read, and so I was able to hold a conversation in those circles, so they wouldn't really know, but I was still pretending to be someone that I'm not. And in the dating community, there's a lot of fraudsters out there as well, obviously, that are pretending to be something that they're not. They're pretending to be the coach, when really they have little to no experience and they don't know what they're talking about. Pretending to be something that you're not is not necessarily bad for everyone else, because no one really cares. It's bad for you, because what you're doing is you're trying to protect an image that doesn't exist, instead of actually being honest with yourself and taking those little incremental gains that you should be making to be something that you will actually be later on. It prevents you from being anything by pretending to be someone that you're not, and that's you see that in this dating community quite a lot. 4, alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs, maybe once every 2 weeks or less than that I might have a drink. But in the early days, read my book. It's in there. Plug it again. Yeah, alcohol and drugs is just a total waste of your time. It damages your brain. It damages every aspect of you. There's people that glorify getting drunk every weekend, when alcohol is so damaging to your body. It's so damaging to your brain. If you can stop taking drugs and alcohol, you'll be far more motivated. You'll be able to achieve more. You won't be making stupid mistakes like some guy in Mexico recently did. You could tell that was somewhat, it seemed like it was somewhat alcohol induced. But yeah, alcohol and drugs are very damaging to your mind, body, and your future. Because coming off it can be very bad for you as well. So that was one thing that made a huge difference to my life, is stopping that. Now 5, the last one, is caring what people think too much. You see, and one thing that I did learn is that if you care too much what people think, you're less likely to take the action that is needed to actually get to where you want to get in life, and that is somewhat in line with pretending to be someone that you're not as well. Caring what people think, pretending to be something that you're not, both of these stop you from making those little tiny changes and improvements to your life that might seem mediocre to you. And you might feel that they're so mediocre, not only to you, but to all your friends and family and everyone that might be watching, which they don't really care, to be honest. They don't really care. Those little incremental gains might be so insignificant, you might think, but they're so significant to you personally. And if you're pretending to be something that you're not able to actually become that person that you're trying to be. Because, well, you care too much what people think, and that is what holds back a lot of men. If you put all those things together, you look at the fact that you might have too many toxic friends, you might be a victim, you might be seeking justice from other people, you might be pretending to be someone that you're not, you might be drunk or on drugs all the time, and you might be caring what people think too much. All of these things are doing substantial damage to your life. And take it from Grandpa here, read my book. This is one of the most brutal books you've ever read in your life. Well, anyway, if you like this video, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon. And you want some coaching with me, fill out the form and we'll see what happens. I'll see you in the next video.